This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcasting system. This is only a test.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce. Don't get that honey sauce on me. I don't like the way it tastes with my chicken wings.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What is going on, everybody? This is your man Dre Mac coming to you again with another episode of the Dre Mac Show. 7:30 in the morning Central Time, 8:30 on the East Coast. If you're on the West Coast right now, go ahead and get it up because you already know that the early bird gets the worm. And on today's show, we are going to go over the Birdman exposing the grift, Harry Potter and the Curious Case of Black Snape. And of course, you already know I'm a supporter of Black Snape. I'm a supporter. Yeah, if y'all gonna hate, y'all gonna do y'all gonna talk crazy, say all kinds of racist things, then I am support 1000% of Black Snape. So this is what the show is going to be about. So hopefully you guys are happy. Hopefully you guys are healthy. Shout out to my man Heavy Gang over at the Heavy Gang Reaction, but you already know how I do. The real question is, are you
Say why you hating on my energy? Say why you hating on my energy? I don't think you wanna be my enemy.
All right. And if you are watching this is pre-recorded, so make sure I know all of the usual suspects. It's in the chat. Make sure y'all were chopping it up in the chat. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, man, because it's the only thing that's in here for free. It's a thumbs up button or a thumbs down. You might hate me, but put the thumbs, do something. Don't just sit around, do something. But before we get into anything, let me shout out all the crew members, man. You already know what it is, man. Let's go. Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait. Whoa. Stop everything you're doing. Go and hit that like button. I know this is probably your first time watching, and you probably enjoying everything. Stop fucking on the channel and go and hit that subscribe button so you never miss one of my videos or one of my morning live streams. And for only $2.99 a month, you know you can be a part of the crew. And shout out to all my crew members that been holding it down for Dre Mac and the crew since the beginning. All right, back to your regularly scheduled program, now in service. Go. Bye. All right. And of course, you already know. Shout out to all the crew members, man. If you want to be a part of the crew, all you got to do is hit that join button. It really helps out the channel a lot. You guys have no idea how much you guys have helped me out. All right. I want to transition real quick. Before I transition, I got a couple videos to show you, man. You know, I got to go to a couple commercial breaks, but most definitely gotta show y'all a couple of these, man. Let's go.
I'm at Heroes World. Oh my god, it's the last day to order the Dakota incident. Andre, Dakota incident, second printing, put it FOC. What? It's too late. We have until today to order the book.
Dude, let me get you in. What cover you want, man? What cover you want?
Dan Mora.
Dan Mora? Done, you're in. Woo! Just in time.
All right, and shout out to my man Chillmonger for that, man. Gonna try. I thought it was gonna show full screen, but obviously it didn't. But let's get into this, man. We about to get into some Black Snape, but first I want to go actually to a quick commercial break. You already know I'll be right back with more of the Dre Mac Show.
I'm Black Snape. Yeah, I'm Black Snape. Black cloak, black skin. Walk the hall, they whispering. Cauldron bubble, I'm different. Dark eyes don't flinch, just glimmering. House points, man, miss me. Came from pain, they history. Same blood, they fear, they diss me. But they copy my brew, still sip me. Side eye from the portraits. Cold stone, but my soul scorched. They ain't teach where I'm from. Had to learn from the alleys and the torch. Half prince in the world that hate. Half rage in the narrow gate. Half hood in the castle gate. Hold me, never run from Black Snape. Walking through the dark. One day my hand in a X in my heart. Turn that fear to a spell, then I spark. I've been cursed from the start. Black Snape, they talk war in the streets. I see more than they see in the tower. Drive by, man, I glide by stealth. Broomstick, bring stone, cold shower. I ain't glorified shots, that's great. That's moms in black, that's waves. Of boys that ain't make old age. So I ain't my rage at the cage. Walking through the dark. One day my hand in a X in my heart. Turn that fear to a spell, then I spark. I've been cursed from the start. Black Snape.
Knight Rider will continue in a moment.
Them biscuits I smell, Mom.
That's my Hungry Jack.
Tommy takes one of them. Them my mama biscuits. Them my mama biscuits.
Switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Does a 10-pound bag of flour make a really big biscuit?
All right, let's transition over. Let's get into the Birdman's video. Of course, you already know, exposing the grift, Harry Potter and the Curious Case of Black Snape, man. Let's get to it. Y'all seen the AI Black Snape. Shout out to my man, Andre Ware, the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? That sent me that. I still think that that's probably the funniest thing I've that beat hard, though. That beats hard. I'm not, AI or not, that beat cracking. You know what I mean? But yeah, let's get into it, man. The Birdman, you're exposing the grift, man. Let's go. Shout out to the Birdman, man. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to my homie too. Stop playing.
I wrote an entirely different video about The Bride that was supposed to be released by now, and believe me, it's still coming. But then HBO decided to drop the trailer for the Harry Potter show, and of course, the vultures began licking their chops at yet another opportunity to grift.
Facts.
And this one's a little special because, at least on the internet, this one seems to be receiving hate from all sides of the political spectrum. Those on the left are, predictably, looking for their pound of flesh, given who created this series, and those on the right are mad about a so-called race swap regarding none other than Hermione.
Yes, and we already know about John De La Rosa. We already talked about this clown. You know what I'm saying? In my Black Snape video, dudes was straight up wacko clown. So, you know, he got some other stuff he need to worry about. And it's so funny how these people claim Christian. They claim Christianity so hard, but won't tell you who's really the color of the people in that book. Yeah, that Bible. They don't look like you, John De La Rosa. Trust me. We all got so much to say about Christianity and then talk about erasing white people. Man, shut up.
You thought I was going to say Snape, didn't you? Don't worry. We'll get to that. Your favorite batch of anti-creators have all decided to throw their dunce caps into the ring. So let's have a look-see, shall we?
The Harry Potter series and I have a complex relationship. The books kind of passed me by in the 90s because angsty teenage drinker was more into serious, pretentious fantasy at the time, so I never really fell in love with them and grew up with Harry, Ron, and Hermione like so many other people did. Likewise, when the movies came out in the early 2000s, I didn't have any context for whether they were faithful adaptations or not, and I'll be honest here, the quirky, goofy, family-friendly tone of the early films didn't do much to win me over. I didn't hate them or
He does not care about these films. None of these grifters care about these films. Let's just be honest. None of them care about these films. They're here to complain.
anything. They just weren't really my cup of tea. So I was happy to let the fans get on with it.
Very strange position coming from the critical drinker. I mean, saying something wasn't his cup of tea, so he let the fans of the property enjoy it unmolested seems pretty noble. But it does beg the question, why doesn't he do this for things regarding Disney, or feminism, or LGBTQ people, or ethnic minorities? Why does he always have something to say about those
come on
topics when, by his own admission, he's supposed to be ignoring things that aren't his cup of tea?
Facts.
Sounds like he's only doing this for the money.
Right, Grifter.
But I was always kind of curious, because nothing achieves that level of cultural impact without something pretty fucking special to back it up. So, a couple of years ago, I girded my loins, grew my beard, and finally made the time to read the books and find out what all the fuss was about. And damn, man, I believe that I finally understood.
I doubt he read the books. I'm seriously, unless he listened to them, I doubt he actually picked up a book and read it. Probably listened to it, but I seriously doubt he read anything.
The appeal of Harry Potter. Yeah, J.K. Rowling's absolute abuse of adverbs in her writing can be tough to get through at times. Watch out, Harry, Hermione shouted warningly. I'm telling you, man, once you see it, you can never unsee it.
Now, drinker, I don't think you're in any position to criticize someone's writing, especially someone that sold 100 times more books than you have subscribers. I mean, your writing isn't exactly Shakespeare.
Exactly.
And now, an excerpt from Drinker's book, Redemption, Ryan Drake, Book 1. A lone jogger shuffled along beneath the dripping leaves, following a muddy track that wound through Anacostia Park. To a casual observer, he would have seemed perfectly unremarkable. Mid-30s, medium build, standing an inch or so above 6 foot. Feet. His short dark hair was damp with sweat, his face downturned, his eyes on the ground ahead. Just another anonymous bureaucrat, just another DC office worker trying to stave off the beer gut and high blood pressure. The sort of man one might pass in the street and forget within moments. But for those who cared to look beyond the obvious, a different picture emerged. Though tired, he moved with sure, confident strides, maintaining a steady ground-covering pace that would be familiar to soldiers the world over. And those eyes, which seemed loosely fixed on the muddy ground ahead, would often flick left and right, quickly taking in his surroundings, maintaining constant awareness of his situation. Those who knew what to look for would see he was no office worker.
Oh, that's terrible.
But overall, the series was an impressive feat of imagination, and in a way, it did make me appreciate the movies from a whole new perspective. Now I understood just how much depth, world building, and complexity they had to cut and condense to fit some pretty fucking enormous books into a 2-hour narrative.
Oh, come on.
What I'm trying to say with all this push is that I greeted the announcement of a new Harry Potter TV series on HBO with about the same level of enthusiasm I'd welcome the installation of a new toilet seat. I mean, it is an improvement, I guess, but is it really going to do anything revolutionary?
I really have a problem with this line of thinking. I mean, besides the fact that Drinker literally just contradicted himself, as he stated he read the novels and appreciated the world building. A lot of that being left out of the movies, which begs the question why he's questioning the existence of this media property. But
and again, this is why I said I don't believe he read anything. Now, of course, you know I watch these. If you've been following my channel for a long time, I watch these when I do reaction videos. I have no idea what's going on or what these people are going to say. But I know one thing, he did not read nothing.
Problem is exactly that. The Harry Potter films left out an incredible amount of detail, which I suppose is somewhat expected when translating a book to a film. But I think that's only ever expected because for whatever reason, movie studios love cutting shit out of their adaptations, which bothers me as a source material enthusiast. People who are fans of the material only want what's in the source material, and people who don't know what's in the source material will happily consume a film or show that properly adapts that source material, provided the show is good and the filmmakers already have half their jobs done for them. It's literally a win-win-win. So I think the purpose of this show's existence is obvious, a proper adaptation of the source material.
Oh, geez. Come on, internet. What the heck?
That doesn't leave out important aspects of the plot, like the fact that Voldemort was conceived due to a love potion, which implies that Voldemort was a child of female rape.
See?
Wow.
It's right here. And this is a conversation between Dumbledore and Harry Potter. Can you not think of any measure Merope, Voldemort's mother, could have taken to make Tom Riddle, Voldemort's father, forget his muggle companion and fall in love with her instead? The Imperious Curse, Harry suggested, or a love potion. Very good. Personally, I am inclined to think that she used a love potion. I am sure it would have seemed more romantic to her, and I do not think it would have been very difficult some hot day when Riddle was riding alone to persuade him to take a drink of water. In any case, within a few months of the scene we have just witnessed, the village of Little Hangleton enjoyed a tremendous scandal. You can imagine the gossip it caused when the squire's son ran off with the tramp's daughter, Merope. That's kind of fucked up, isn't it? He goes on to state, what he meant, I am sure, is that he had been under an enchantment that had now lifted, though I dare say he did not dare use those precise words for fear of being thought insane. When they heard what he was saying, however, the villagers guessed that Merope had lied to Tom Riddle, pretending she was going to have his baby and that he had married her for this reason. But she did have his baby. But not until a year after they were married. Tom Riddle left while she was still pregnant. Yeah, Voldemort is a roofie baby. Children's book.
Right.
The movies don't have any of that. And for those of you who are movie only, I probably just blew your mind.
You did.
On the plus side, all that extra runtime offers the chance to expand on stuff from the novels that either had to be cut or massively simplified for the sake of movie making, which is nice, I guess. Shit, man, it might even do my boy Ron justice this time around. Seriously, the Ron from the books is such a wildly different character from the film version, it's not even funny. He's snarky, he's quick-witted and assertive, he's angsty about his poor background, but he takes no shit from people about it. He argues regularly with Hermione, and he actually wins a lot of the time. On the other hand, I can't say I was exactly desperate to watch the same story get rehashed again, even if it came with a few extra bells and whistles attached.
Why not? Remakes are a dime a dozen these days with video games, movies, and TV shows. Heck, you have 3 videos talking about Dune, all of which are positive. Are you unaware this is the 4th attempt to tell the story of Dune? I wonder why this remake in particular is rustling your jimmies.
And well, there's the other issue to consider. The first Harry Potter movie came out a quarter of a century ago, and Hollywood is a very different place from what it was in 2001.
Here we go.
Kinda, but mainly because of people like you. Obviously, with this overused clip of a person screaming at the inauguration of Trump, and let's be frank, she was fucking right, you're implying that the movie industry is more so-called woke than it was when the first Harry Potter film released in 2001.
This is what it's going to be.
That's simply not true. The film industry was progressive back then, too. You were just too young to notice or care, but the conservatives of that era were just as much of a whiny bitch then as you are now. Specifically for this very topic, Harry Potter, conservatives tried to have it banned for promoting witchcraft.
Thank you. Birdman, again. I remember all these Christian zealots, or whatever you call them, zealots, who gives a crap? I remember them freaking out. I would even go to certain churches, I remember this, where preachers are preaching against Harry Potter because it promoted witchcraft. And now you have people like John Della Rose or whatever, who's a proclaimed Christian, mad about the race swap, about whites being erased, but not the witchcraft. You can't make this stuff up, y'all.
craft. I mean, one of the heroes is an intelligent heroine, the smartest student in the school, and is the epitome of what you would call a girl boss today. The villains of the story believe in pure blood supremacy. The school itself is multicultural and multiracial, with people from non-magical backgrounds admitted, as long as they display an aptitude for magic, which would stand in direct opposition to the ideology of blood purity that underpins the series' central antagonists. In other words, the very institution where the story takes place is built on the rejection of inherited superiority. Harry Potter was woke way before you ever heard that Black American slang word.
And yesterday, the first trailer dropped for season 1, so what the fuck do I actually think about it? Well, this one left me feeling confused. Right off the bat, the tone of the trailer is bizarrely dark, serious and heavy, all muted colors and washed out lighting, and overlaid with that booming, ominous Hans Zimmer score that feels more like a grandiose, painfully serious Zack Snyder superhero flick than a whimsical kid's adventure.
I mean, Birdman just read something. I've never read the books. I've seen all the movies. I got all the movies. I've never read the books. And that was dark. Super dark what he read in the book. So this, and this is why I said, this proves again he didn't read nothing. He wasn't going to read anything. It's about complaining. Because what I just read was in a children's book, and it was talking about taking the pill. Y'all talking about Cosby. Y'all need to be talking about Tom Riddle's mama.
Sound like you're getting your criticism from Twitter, Will. These are all movie-only fan criticisms. The series was dark from the beginning. I mean, what part of Harry being bullied by his literal blood relatives was whimsical? They forced him to live in a cupboard under the stairs. They'd leave him with Mrs. Fig when they went off to have fun at amusement parks. Then when he finally arrived at Hogwarts, he got bullied by students and a teacher for something that happened in the past that he had nothing to do with. And there was a plot to kill him. This is all in the first book. Just look at how Roger Ebert describes that first book. The idea that the Harry Potter series got darker and darker as the story went on is massively overstated. It was always an unrelenting story of a boy overcoming nearly impossible odds. The books just got thicker.
Don't get me wrong, the intention's obviously to contrast the bleak concrete jungle of the Muggle world with the vibrant magic and colors of Hogwarts. But holy shit, we're not launching into some deadly serious epic fantasy here. The John Williams score from the movies was absolutely pitch perfect for Harry Potter, combining intrigue and mystery with an undertone of adventure and danger, and just a hint of playfulness to remind you that yes, you're allowed to have fun with this one. The characters, on the other hand, are a bit...
Watch these movies? One of my favorite Harry Potter movies is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. And Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire is so jacked up. It is so, just the movie. I can just imagine the book. Seriously, I can just imagine what's in the book. The actual movie itself is jacked up. Again. Oh, and then I gotta listen to this dude talk. Oh God, my ears.
Of a mixed bag. The kids all look fine, I guess. The lead actor for Harry doesn't quite have the same spark and charisma that Daniel Radcliffe had, but I'm sure he'll do okay.
Did this man just say the spark and charisma that Daniel Radcliffe had? Bruh, Daniel was the weakest of the original trio. Let's be completely honest here. You seem to be judging Daniel on his later work in the series, but early on, he was often criticized as being stiff, bland, and a poor actor, usually.
And Ron, to me, Ron and Hermione, Emma Watson. Emma Watson was actually the standout to me when I first watched the movies. But that's just my. But I've always loved. Can't think of his name off the top, but who plays Ron Weasley? I've always been a fan of his. You know what I mean? I just liked the way his character came across.
Outperformed by Emma Watson. Hell, Daniel himself thought he was bad. I know we have to do this thing where we overly praise the original thing to shit on the remake, but history was recorded, and the idea that Daniel Radcliffe was anything other than okay as Harry Potter is laughable.
Hermione is kind of meh. She doesn't have the bushy hair or the buck teeth or the pale skin that Hermione was known for, but, you know, apart from that, she's dead on, I guess.
Lots to unpack here. First of all, Hermione isn't described as pale-skinned anywhere in any of the books.
Nowhere close.
Like, that is just wrong. This is why the character has been portrayed by a black woman on stage with Rowling's blessing, with her going so far as stating there is no reason Hermione can't be black. There's a moment in the third book where Hermione's face is described as turning white, but as Rowling explains, this is figurative language meant to describe a character losing color in their face due to shock. This can and does happen to black people. Anyway, I think if the creator of the series is okay with her own character not being tied to one particular group of people, we should kind of let that one go. But this idea that the new actress doesn't have bushy hair and buck teeth is just
ridiculous. Glorious Bastards, my movie.
Like, what are you looking at?
Exactly.
She looks far more like how Rowling describes the character than Emma ever did. This young girl looks like she leapt right off the page.
She does.
And have you heard her speak? This child was born to play Hermione.
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Exactly. She sounds like Emma Watson.
It was very funny because I got back from school and my parents said, right, we need to have a talk to you about your behaviour. And I was like, what have I done wrong? I was so nervous that they were going to tell me off and I'd be like suspended from school. And they were like, okay, so you're going to be playing the part of Hermione Granger in the audio series. And I just stopped for a few seconds. I was like, what? I thought it was about behaviour. I was like so shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, I was so happy. I think I talk quite like Hermione. And in audio, you have to very pronounce your words a lot. And so I think Hermione sort of overdoes that because she talks very well. It's a little bit younger, I think. So yeah, I think I had to pitch a little bit higher and pronounce my words more. I think I'm quite similar to Hermione. I mean, I think I'm fairly good at school. I always want to do everything perfectly, but I have to tell myself, no, I can't do everything perfectly.
Again, I know people love to do the first thing is better than the new thing, but this is one of those instances where it's inarguable.
She actually, just that interview and the excitement in this child's voice, again, child's voice, had me so hyped. I now want to, I'm going to see it anyway, but it makes me even more excited to see it because she was just so excited about seeing it, and she looks just like what a Hermione would look like to me. I don't know what the hell. Nope. Again, these people are grifting, complaining, all of that. Even though I love Emma Watson's character portrayal in the movies, especially my favorite movie, Goblet of Fire, of the Harry Potter series. I think this young lady is going to do an amazing job. Just her excitement alone got me excited.
That the new thing is better than the original. Tom Holland's Spider-Man is another.
The reality, though, is that the casting in general is probably going to be compared unfavorably to the film franchise. Say what you want about the movies, but the actors they managed to assemble for them were absolutely phenomenal. I mean, where else are you going to see Alan Rickman, Maggie Smith, Ralph Fiennes, Gary Oldman, Jason Isaacs, Brendan Gleeson, Michael Gambon, and John Hurt in the same fucking movie? Somehow,
I mean, geez, it was 20 some odd years ago. And again, all this complaining gives these guys no chance. This is what these guys do. They complain, create a narrative, so the other cast, so you can call it kind of crap on it, have that mentally in your mind because it's running a narrative. Is how propaganda works. So now when you look at it, you're saying, well, they can't be as good as the original guys. Man, some of the people are dead and gone now. What else? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You gonna dig them up? We already seen that in Deadpool Wolverine. They're gone. Let it go.
I don't think Nick Frost and John Lithgow are quite on the same level.
On this, we agree. While I don't have much issue with the new cast, the original cast was full of industry giants, and it'll be hard to top. I personally wouldn't have cast Lithgow as Dumbledore, but then again, I don't remember ever hearing him try a British accent, so I'll reserve judgment. That being said, I think with how they've knocked it out of the park with our main trio, we should give them a bit of grace and not underestimate this era's talent pool. Jessie Buckley as Bellatrix Lestrange would feed families, just saying.
Anyway, enough about that bullshit. Let's talk about the real elephant in the room, Draco Malfoy's hair. Seriously, what's with the fucking Gen Z bird's nest resting on his head? He looks about as intimidating as Patton Oswalt.
I don't know. I think the broccoli haircut does make him look more like a douchebag. The real problem is that this story is set in the 90s and that hairstyle wasn't the thing back then.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Snape, bro. We know that's what you really want to get to.
Oh yeah, and Snape's in the trailer as well. And I'll be honest, I think the casting department did a great job with this one. Apart from the hooked nose, the greasy straight hair, the thin physique, and the pale sallow skin, he's the spitting image of Snape from the books. Joking aside, race swapping such a prominent character that was clearly described as white in the books and was played to absolute perfection by Alan Rickman in the movies was a pretty dumb decision because ultimately it's just going to overshadow everything else about this show.
Only if you're a racist douchebag that is concerned with blood purity. Hey, where have I heard that one before? The casting of Snape is very interesting for a variety of reasons. But again, we are talking about a fictional character who's I
want to hear his take. I do. But I'm going to take a quick commercial break. I don't mind if I go to a commercial break real quick. I will be right back with more of the Dre Mac Show.
We'll be
right back.
It's just your mama's raisin butter biscuits. That's all it is.
Not my mama biscuits.
Whoop they do.
Take a love to a biscuit, man.
Whoop they do. They do.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
Whoop they do.
Good idea. Visiting the circus. Bad idea. Having the circus visit you.
We now return to the Transformers.
All right, let's get to Black Snape. Walking through the mall. Y'all thought I was going to play the Black Snape. I know what y'all thought. I already played it earlier. All right, let's hear exactly what we think about what Birdman's thoughts on Black Snape.
Ethnicity isn't integral to their characterization.
Yes.
For Snape to work, all you need is an anti-hero that was in love with Harry Potter's mother, bullied by Harry Potter's father, worked for the Dark Lord, switched sides after Harry's mother was killed, and is a piece of shit to Harry due to the hatred for Harry's father. Nothing about any of that suggests Snape has to be white.
Yes.
As long as the character has everything I just named, that's Snape. You people routinely have a meltdown over non-issues like this. It's amazing.
Yes.
If this one character is going to overshadow the entire story for you, good news. The books and the original movies still exist. You can go consume them and be happy. For those of us that don't care about a fictional character's skin tone, we will all go on with our lives.
It's basically the only thing that anyone's talking about right now, and based on the ratio on that first trailer, the talk has not been positive.
So you're showing more people like this than people disliked this. Am I going crazy, or can you people not do math? I mean, I could understand if this inaccurate plugin that I keep telling you people not to use because it's fucking inaccurate was showing a higher number of dislikes than the likes, but you're literally showing that more people liked this than disliked it.
Exactly.
You're debunking yourself is what I'm saying. Also, YouTube dislikes are never a worthwhile measure of anything, especially with situations like this, because people like you will teach people to dislike these things and exacerbate the problem artificially. It's channels like yours that have taught people to hate brigade and review bomb things.
Facts.
So you showing me this is entirely meaningless, and that's besides the fact that more people liked the trailer than disliked it.
It's also exposing the actor to a lot of hate that he absolutely doesn't deserve. And for what? What does all this accomplish, really? Is it going to improve the show? Will it get more people to watch it? Or does it just become a convenient shield to hide behind so you can dismiss any and all criticism, no matter how valid or well-intentioned, as nothing more than ignorant bigotry?
Please pay attention to what Drinker is saying here. He's planting the seeds early, teaching his audience of bigots to hide behind the guise of criticism when they inevitably review bomb this thing.
Yep.
These people do this all the time. When they get called out for their obvious bigotry, they try to retreat to this phony ass criticism excuse. I can see all the bad writing tweets already. Besides, this doesn't make any sense. If we know they're being more accurate to the source material and we know people like that source material, there's nothing to worry about. Snape will be exactly like he was in the book. And if he isn't, that will be a fair criticism, and no one will call you a racist for pointing that out. But enough with the preemptive victimhood. You deserve every accusation of bigotry because you are a bigot, Will. Stop pretending that label doesn't fit you while doing everything in your power to fucking earn it. Why are you racists so afraid of being labeled what you clearly are? Are you not the guy that compared King Kong to African slaves? Why did you see a giant ape and think black people, Will? Why do you use AI imagery of black people crying as your thumbnails, Will? Why do you go out of your way to shit on movies people have never heard of, but review movies like Sinners on your second channel where your normal audience won't see it, Will? If you're not a racist, you're doing a damn good impression of one.
There's a reason most fans let out a collective groan these days every time a new remake or reboot of an old franchise gets announced. It's because the culture that allowed the original versions to get made the way they were just does not exist anymore. And what we get instead tends to be a lazy, pandering, badly written facsimile of it.
There you go.
But you know what does still exist? The original property. You morons talk like the originals just disappear when the new version comes out. Fam, Harry Potter is the best-selling book series of all time. If you have a problem with the skin tone of one of the actors, go reread the books again. Hell, listen to the audiobooks. Watch the movies for the millionth time. You can just pretend this doesn't exist. I don't understand why this bothers you people so much. Is it FOMO? Can you not stand when others are having a good time and you can't because your bigotry doesn't allow you to enjoy a media property? Stop being a bitch. When I'm not interested in something, I just don't watch it. I don't get on YouTube and cry to my echo chamber while dog whistling for them to go dislike a trailer. You're a grown-ass man, dude. Act like it. Anyway, let's see what Nerdrotic is up to.
I'm Black Snape. I played the video. Not the Nerdrotic records. Is he the
Black cloak, black skin, walk the hall, they whispering, cauldron bubble, I'm different, dark eyes don't flinch, just glimmering.
Wow. An AI video of Snape rapping and shooting guns. But the critical drinker whines about he and his group being labeled racist. I'm trying to figure out how these dipshits have not yet been banned from YouTube. Things like this are clear violations of community guidelines. I mean, he's showing Snape, a British person, brandishing a handgun. You know, the thing they banned in Britain. This fucking idiot is using a black American stereotype for a black British person. Even their racism is low IQ. What's funny about this is Nerdrotic is a fucking felon. Once again, nothing but projection coming from that side.
Oh,
we're back with Harry Potter sooner than I thought because HBO released their first Harry Potter.
I love when Andre Ware sent us that video and we tagged me and Darius for playing the Fanatics. We thought the shit was funny. And the reason why we think it's funny, because first of all, I ain't gonna lie to Beat hard though. Beat go hard. But this is what they think. You can't help but just laugh at half of the time, you can't help but laugh at these people. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the lengths that they go through just to try to make fun of us. And we just end up laughing at you. We laughing at this. This don't hurt my feelings. This is hilarious. You got this man riding on a Nimbus 2000 with the Bleaky. We played it last night on Blurred AF, man. This don't hurt my feelings. We just look at it because it's kind of silly. It's funny. It's funny to us because this is the level you try to do to try to harm us or hurt us or make us feel a certain way. Stop. We got Andre Ware. I had to check you. You know what I'm saying? I don't want Blur without fear finding out you follow the erotic and critical drinker on Twitter.
trailer, and as predicted, it broke the internet, just not in all the ways that HBO hoped for. But you can't say HBO's parent company, Warner Brothers, America's dumbest entertainment company, wasn't expecting a little heat, and they deserve it with the bad decision they made. Warner Brothers' ambitious attempt to once again adapt one of the most popular fantasy book series of all time, Harry Potter, and remake one of the most popular film series of a generation. Of course, the Harry Potter show is going to be one of the most anticipated series of the last decade. And it could have been an absolute slam dunk if it was adapted properly, something HBO had promised to do when they said this would be a faithful adaptation, a promise that was broken almost immediately with the casting of Papa Essiedu's Black Snape.
The story is what they're referring to.
The story. This is, dude, before Birdman goes, this is freaking fantasy, man. This is fantasy. I literally said, I was talking about this on the Blurred AF. I literally played the Ghosts of like Christmas Past for Charles Dickerson play. Nobody cared that I was black. Nobody cared that I was 5'9", and the clothes that they gave me was way entirely too big because I was the Ghost of Christmas Past, and I could not walk in the pants. It was a role that I had to play. That's it. And at the end of the day, this is not real, especially when the character's ethnicity does not tie into what the character's motivations or anything on that. It could be anybody. It can literally be anybody. But this is how you get paid. This is how you get paid, by fake outrage, crying, whining, and you wanted to call other people snowflakes. You guys are weird.
When they say they will be properly adapting the source material. I mean, John Lithgow is an American.
He's an American.
Last I checked, Dumbledore isn't American. But I guess that's okay because he's white, and it's just acting in that case.
Yep. Both a forced and unforced error that will go down as some of the worst casting in Hollywood history.
How can you possibly know that when you haven't seen the acting yet? For all you know, he could put on an acting clinic.
And this is reason why y'all got to be careful about following these narratives, because these narratives is always pushed. You know what I'm saying? It's always pushed when you don't even know what the hell the story is about. You haven't watched it out a single episode. It's not like HBO sent you all 8 episodes of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone to be like, here you go. What do you think? I doubt it. I seriously doubt they send you anything besides the cease and desist.
Your dumbass thinks he'll be performing a drive-by on a broomstick in Scotland.
And now that the trailer's been released, showing a lot more than I thought it would, giving us our first look at Harry, Ron, Hermione, Malfoy, Hagrid, Miss McGonagall, and Dumbledore. You think that would be enough to dominate the conversation, but unfortunately for HBO, the thing that broke the internet was Black Snape, because we got our first look at—
Well, we already knew Snape was going to be black for well over a year. We knew that when they announced the casting. We already knew this is what I'm talking about, fake outrage. They already knew that this guy was going to be playing, the Papa Essiedu was going to be playing Snape in the show. We already knew that. But you see how now that you see it visually, oh, I got to bring up the hate train again. Choo-choo. It just does not stop.
Black Snape yesterday with the trailer and a promotional image, and I will say again, the resemblance is uncanny.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No. Look at the top of his head. Look at his lips.
In case you didn't catch the racial jabs, we're laughing at black hair, black lips, and we're including smoke detector beeps. This is where we are in 2026, where a large creator on YouTube can just be openly racist towards black people, and YouTube won't do anything about it.
I don't think I'm going out on a limb here by saying our expectations were low, but holy fuck. I mean, they're not even trying on this one because they gave Snape dreads. And if you said Severus Snape looks like a younger Whoopi Goldberg, you wouldn't be that far off. If you said Snape looks like Tracy Chapman, you're getting a little closer. If you think Snape looks like the dude from Good Burger, you're spot on.
And if you think Nerdrotic looks like an uncircumcised penis that belongs to a geriatric inmate on death row, give this video a like.
And it gets worse. Look at what he's wearing in this promotional image. Is that a tracksuit under his robe? Is the barrel of his gat lined with unicorn hair or dragon heartstring? Is he sipping on gin and polyjuice with his mind?
Oh, God. This is the reasons why. This is one of the reasons why I will probably never run into a neurotic or into one of these geeks and gamers, one of these critical drinkers, one of these Mayor McNuggets ever in life. Because allegedly, I don't know, somebody be falling on the floor holding their jaw. I'm just saying, I don't know why they would be holding their jaw like this, like, oh, snap, son. You know what I'm saying? I can't believe that happened to me. But they can just run. You see how they can just run their mouth and say these type of things about us? But if we mention anybody in somebody else's community, we'll get banned. We'll get all kinds of stuff on YouTube. This is ridiculous. YouTube really needs to have a handle on this, but they won't. They won't.
Mind on his galleons and his galleons on his mind? Is the 6th series going to be called the Half-Blood Fresh Prince?
What do we even say to this? This stupid fuck is still applying Black American stereotypes to a British person.
I know.
This is why multiple studies have repeatedly concluded that those who are racist tend to have lower IQs. And Gary here is a shining example of that.
And again, while the trailer isn't ratioed, the dislike count is at 98,000, which is extremely high. 99% of that ratio comes from Black Snape. And that's why the decision to race swap Snape will go down as some of the worst casting in the history of Hollywood.
The fact that you think YouTube dislikes will have an effect on this show is hilarious.
Exactly.
Harry Potter is an unstoppable franchise at this point. It really
is.
Every attempt to quash it has failed, from the Christian groups in the 90s to the people trying to boycott Hogwarts Legacy. I don't even know why y'all try anymore, to be honest. This trailer has the most views in HBO's history in only 48 hours. It beat out Superman, for fuck's sake. Superman.
It was not a decision based on creativity or merit. It was a decision motivated by social and political agendas, which is a shame because if you take away Black Snape, the trailer was pretty good. Well, I still have my criticisms. I didn't like how it was shot.
He literally just told you, you take away the black guy and it's a perfect trailer. If the black guy is turned into a white guy, it's a perfect trailer. Shows you the racism. This is not about art. I got into theater because I love the art. That's why I got into theater. I didn't get into theater. I didn't get into theater to try to be rich one day or try to get into Hollywood, even though my teacher, was in a couple of movies. She was in The Nutty Professor as an extra in The Nutty Professor, a day player or whatever, and just teaching us certain things that she learned while she was going to USC. That's not why. I like characters. I want to get into a character. That's it. The Nutty Professor was one of my favorite movies that I used to quote and use all the time because I seen Eddie Murphy play multiple characters. Guess what? Nutty Professor is a national treasure that was also race swapped and reimagined with Eddie Murphy. This is nothing new. This is about the enjoyment of art at the end of the day. And if J.K. Rowling has no problem with it, who the fuck are you? Let's continue.
So dark and it was devoid of any color. I like how Nick Frost looks as Hagrid, but he just has Nick Frost's voice, which doesn't sound anything like Hagrid. But other than that, it looked like it has a lot of potential and could have been great instead of just good despite Black Snape. The key word there is potential, but again, the casting of Harry and Ron looks perfect. And with Hermione, well, I was convinced they were going to cast a black actress, but they didn't. Now, the one they did cast was the voice in the early audiobooks, and she sounded just like her, so I think it's fine. I also think Draco looks like Draco. Miss McGonagall looks like Miss McGonagall.
The white
Dursleys
people look like white people.
But fine, what we can see of the inside of Hogwarts looks like Hogwarts. And John Lithgow's Dumbledore, especially in this promotional image, looks fantastic, which makes it all the more frustrating and inexplicable. I would love to know the name of the person who floated this idea.
What he's really saying is that he would like to know the person he can send his audience to go harass. But this is hilarious to me. He likes literally everything about this trailer, but there's an uppity Negro also playing pretend with the whites, and this here is a sundown town. I love how angry black people's presence makes these people, and the fact that they can't do anything about it but cry and say racist things.
Oh,
absolutely pathetic existence.
Facts.
Because as many of us have said before, Harry Potter was already diverse, and the demographics of the story matched the demographics of the UK in the 90s.
Oh? The UK was full of witches and wizards and goblins and elves and fantastic beasts in the 90s? Well, I'm sure that's news to the people of the UK. Like, what are we doing? Are we seriously trying to evoke real-life racial demographics in a story about a school that accepts basically anyone as long as they can do magic? I guess the horse eagle ain't tip you off, but this is fiction. It can be whatever anyone in charge wants it to be. Last I checked, JK is not bothered by a black man portraying Snape. In fact, she's busy whining about trans people. I mean, she's already given her stamp of approval. If she's not mad, why are you?
And you could have race swapped a bunch of other characters, and while people still would have complained, it wouldn't have really affected the story and wouldn't have been as bad as, say, Black Snape.
You're
contradicting yourself? Why is everybody else okay to race swap, but Black Snape is the problem? Black Snape walking through, even though you made this, I like the beat though. I ain't gonna hold you. I like that beat. That beat go hard. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying, because it pisses you off so much. I'm saying it with Black Snape. You keep saying Black Snape so much, I bet your teeth get white. I bet you say nigga a lot. I know you do. You probably say it more than Paul Mooney. I know you do. I know your teeth is white as the clam meeting. Oh, because you can't. Oh, it just burns your biscuits, don't it?
Contradicting your own argument here. If you admit this is a story where anyone can be so-called race swapped and it wouldn't affect the story, you're going to have to explain how having a black person portray Snape affects the story.
Exactly.
Do you think black people can't be bullied? Well, you couldn't possibly think that because you're doing that right now. You think a black man can't fall in love with a white woman? Well, guess what? The guy who was playing Snape is in fact in a relationship with a white woman right now.
Wow.
Please explain to me how this man's skin color affects the story. You can't, and we all know you can't, because there isn't a real justification. Because if there were, he would have never been cast.
Facts.
Or, hear me out, don't race swap anyone. It would have avoided a lot of headaches, a lot of fan backlash, and it would have made it easier to write your story.
Really, it's just you. It's just you. We said this because, and the reason why a lot of us, Marcus from Back of the Bus, Josh, you know, Darius, Showmonger, me, Blue, you know, Mika, we've all had these conversations, you know, about this because it's people like you. That's the reason why we wanted to back up off of it, because it's people like you that makes this. It's theater, it's acting. At the end of the day. But y'all never have a problem with pull up any of the race swaps when it's a white person playing a race swap character or the demographic of a person. They'll never talk about that when it's white, because it's white. It's white. When it's white, it's right. Is that what you're saying? And when it's black, it's black. Black Snape. Black.
Which is now going to make Harry Potter's father, James Potter, look like a racist. His mother, Lily,
I mean, you
is
already
gonna look like a
one.
racist because she leads on and friend zones a black kid so she can hook up with James Potter, who picked on the black kid.
This is such a stupid and insanely moronic read on this situation. First off, this implies that the only reason a white person has a problem with a black person is specifically due to racism.
Yes.
Which, of course, literally implicates you,
Yes.
Gary. You are calling yourself a racist right now.
Yes, you
which,
are.
frankly, would be the most honest thing you've ever said. But more than that, this is othering the black person and not treating them like a normal human.
Yes.
Black kids get bullied like white kids do.
Yes, they
Black
do.
boys get rejected by white girls like white boys do. Black men can be pieces of shit like white men can. The only people reading this kind of rhetoric into this story are people like you, Gary, motherfuckers that shouldn't be interacting with the public and should be in someone's insane asylum in the middle of bumfuck Idaho cutting up potatoes or some shit.
As far as the rest of the Marauders are concerned, well, I'm convinced they're going to make Sirius Black black, and not just because his last name is Black, although that would be good enough for Hollywood, but it will probably make the Marauders look a little less racist if a black kid is picking on another black kid. But then you have a show made by a bunch of white people depicting black kids picking on black kids. You play identity politics games, you win identity politics prizes.
Ironically, you're the only one playing identity politics here.
Yes, you are.
An actor was cast in a role, one that you haven't even seen enough of to make a judgment on that actor's performance. You don't even know how they will portray the character yet. This is like the Peter Pan thing. Women have portrayed Peter Pan, the leader of the Lost Boys, and literally nothing changed about the story because it's acting. These are people playing pretend. Snape is not a real person. He is a character in fiction, and the important traits of that character aren't physical. Again, I remind you, we have a whole ass American playing Dumbledore, and somehow that doesn't even register to you people.
Nope.
This brings us to the interview with Papa Escuido from a week ago, and I should have known a trailer was coming because this is textbook getting out in front of a problem. The good old proactive fan blaming taken from the pages of Amazon and Lucasfilm. If any of this sounds familiar, it should, because it's just like with Moses Ingram and Kenobi and the Rings of Power.
A lot of y'all, oh my God. A lot of y'all bullied Moses. They were mad. I called out a grifter. You know who you are. I called out a grifter for talking about when I found out that he wanted to be part of Recast T'Challa, but had a whole history talking about black elves, especially her. So it's just so happened that these people happen to be black, and you guys get on your platforms and look what you guys do. Like, you guys are ridiculous.
I wonder what these people all have in common, Gary. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it's right at the tip of my tongue.
Is the barrel of his gat lined with unicorn hair or dragon heartstring? Is he sipping on gin and polyjuice with his mind on his galleons and his galleons on his mind? Is the 6th series going to be called The Half-Blood Fresh Prince? From The Hollywood Reporter, Harry Potter series star Papa Escuido says he's received death threats for Snape casting. I've been told, quit or I'll end you, the actor told The Times. To state the obvious, nobody should be threatening actors for taking a role, and I have no doubt he's received these threats, and he has my sympathy as somebody who's received a lot of threats for talking about things like Harry Potter.
The difference is people like you are directly responsible for this type of behavior, Gary. Papa, on the other hand, is not responsible for you being threatened. That would be you again. You are a despicable person doing despicable things, and you bring heat on yourself by spreading hatred. For whatever reason, you racist clowns believe that people are going to continue taking abuse from you people and that there won't be any blowback for your behavior. This man is an actor, and all he did was audition for a role and do a good enough job to get hired. He has harmed no one, but you spent the beginning of this video attributing harmful stereotypes to an innocent man and are now trying to empathize with the abuse he's been receiving? Are you fucking insane?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
It's also been my experience to not bring attention to the threats because it invites more of them. So why do they do it? It's a marketing tool used regularly by corporate Hollywood to shield them from criticism for their provocative decisions.
Or they're telling the truth about you and your army of sad failures that have nothing better to do than to harass people over portraying fictional characters that they literally don't even have to watch. Imagine saying casting a human in a TV show is provocative. Who exactly is it provoking, Gary? And what are those people going to do about it?
Once that hits The Hollywood Reporter, then Deadline picks it up and Variety picks it up. Then we go back to Variety. HBO boss Casey Bloys says Harry Potter set has serious security amid death threats against cast. I'd also like to point out that Deadline, The Hollywood Reporter, and Variety are all owned by the same company, Penske Media.
And that never stopped you from quoting Variety or Deadline when they're repeating your narratives, like the dumb marketing budget shit you people pull when a movie you don't like is doing too well at the box office. So stop wasting my time with this picking and choosing shit when they disagree with you, moron.
And again, nobody should be threatening anyone over pretend, but we also have to keep in mind that this is part of the gig, but it's what he says later that actually bothers me. However, the "I may destroy you" star, well, you may destroy Harry Potter, added that the abuse fuels me and makes me more passionate about making this character my own. What he should be doing, although he doesn't look anything like Snape, is trying to make the character as close as possible to the book, because that's what the paying customer and the fans want. Nobody is asking for Papa Essuito's version of Snape, but that's not the only red flag. The showrunners of Harry Potter, one of whom has past credits with Succession and His Dark Materials, the atheist response to C.S. Lewis's Narnia, sound like they want to make this show their own as well by adding things that weren't in the books, like going.
So for Papa say I want to make this character my own by disassociating myself with Alan Richman's portrayal of it, now that's a wrong thing. I'm going to make this thing my own. I'm going to bring my version, the way that I want Snape to be portrayed. You know what I mean? That's sometimes wrong. Do you think Alan read all the Harry Potter books like, yep, that's how I want to make Snape? Or do you think as an actor, you find certain cues or certain things and you implement that into a character? What is this? Like, seriously, what is this?
Duran's house, the Burrow early, or seeing Draco's home life or behind the scenes with the professors. The story is supposed to be from Harry's perspective, and now it's not going to be, which fundamentally changes it. The viewer won't be discovering the
How do you know it's not from Harry's perspective when you haven't watched not one single minute of this show? You're just going off of, this is what I'm saying. This is a narrative. This is how you create a narrative. He just made up a bunch of crap over a trailer.
Wizard world through Harry's eyes, removing that sense of wonder. And if you're adding stuff that wasn't in the books, that means you're going to be leaving out stuff that was in the books, which defeats the purpose of this entire show.
That makes no sense and is baseless speculation and fear-mongering. This is a TV show. They have the space to add things without having to remove other things. That's the whole point of a TV show, to explore things you can't in a film. They will have 8 hours to adapt Philosopher's Stone, which is more than enough time, especially because that's the shortest book. This is the problem with trying to criticize things before they've released. Your criticism has the potential to age extremely poorly. But I guess in Grifter Candyland, the only thing that matters is clicks and views, not accuracy or integrity.
But it's Warner Brothers' show to fuck up, and it's just the latest example of Hollywood's inability to get out of their own way. I really would have enjoyed watching and covering a faithful Harry Potter show, but that train has left platform 9 3/4. All because some pompous...
Nobody cares about you covering this show. Ain't nobody going to Nerdrotic but like, man, I didn't never take that back. There's plenty of people that's going to, plenty of morons that's going to find your channel just to see what you got to say. So, whatever.
And vapid Hollywood executives and showrunners thought that they would change hearts and minds with the casting of Black Snape.
What the hell are you talking about, dude? In what way are they trying to change hearts and minds with a supporting character? I guess you forgot that this show is called Harry Potter. Snape is by no means an unimportant character, but he's a side antagonist for most of the series. You admitted earlier that you liked 99% of everything they showed,
except for the black
but the guy with the brown skin that will barely play a factor in this particular season is what's ruining it for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what makes you a racist, Gary.
We won't give the fans what they want. We'll give them what they need. And it's here we get to the most insidious part of this, which is the reason I'm talking about it, the motivation behind race swapping. While they'll be calling the fans racist over the backlash of casting Black Snape, their decision to cast a Black Snape was inherent.
He can't stop saying Black Snape. I hope. Oh, Black Snape haunt your dreams. He was go, snap, Black Snape. Get that Black Snape off of me.
Racist, because you literally did it to make it less white.
Oh my God. One character race swap and everything is so less white. I cannot. You cannot make this stuff up. I literally seen a movie called Gods of Egypt where the majority of the cast is white, not from Egypt or anything. And nobody had a problem. Nobody said anything. Nobody made no videos, no nothing. One black dude take a job that was announced last year, and now all of a sudden there's a meltdown. You cannot. When they call other people snowflakes, I'm like, that's got to be the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Now it applies to y'all. Y'all melt down at the slightest of anything that's not white. Snowflakes. Wow.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we can bring this circus to a close.
Fact.
As you can see, no real arguments for their positions because there isn't an argument to be made. Snape is physically described a couple of times in the books, but beyond those few descriptions, nothing about the characterization of Snape requires him to be of any particular ethnic group.
Yeah.
This is a form of ethnic defaultism, where a white author creates a character without any intrinsic ethnic traits that matter for their characterization. So everyone simply assumes they are white. Snape is described as having pale, sallow skin. Asians and Hispanics can have pale, sallow skin, but you don't hear these people advocating for Snape to be Asian or Hispanic because they think he has to be Caucasian when he was never described as specifically being Caucasian in the books. Ethnic defaultism. What remains important is that he is an antagonist to the story that evolves into an anti-hero at the story's climax.
Yes.
As long as he does the things Snape does in the books, the character will remain intact, and what he looks like does not matter for that narrative to remain intact.
What can I say? What can I do?
All right. That was another fantastic video from my man, the Birdman, man. Let me take one last commercial break, and I'm going to get my final thoughts, and I'll be right back with more of Black Snape.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Now you can own one of the greatest gospel albums ever on the road, with only giant hits and legendary stars.
Biscuit. I know the truth about it. I love. Oh, how I love this biscuit. Oh, how I love this biscuit. It is the best biscuit. I know.
This treasury is not sold in stores, and when you call the toll-free number now, you also get another entire album of all-time gospel favorites. We now return to the Transformers.
All right. Black Snape. Black Snape. You didn't have to have Black Snape. All right, just my final thoughts, honestly, y'all. I like the Harry Potter movies. I've never read the books. I'm not going to sit up here and act like that. But I never looked at, again, the reason why most of the time I'm against race swaps because of the narrative push like this. They don't care about the art. They don't care about theater. Theater is about playing pretend, get into a character. It's make-believe. It's using your imagination. And this guy shouldn't have to go through death threats and all kinds of other goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? To be able to play a character, man, it's a character. It's not real. It would never be real. It'd never be nowhere close to real. But this is the way you guys are so caught up in this fantasy world or whatever. You don't even see the irony of what you're talking about. The thing you're trying to say Hollywood is doing, you're doing. Oh, Hollywood's doing all of this, and they want to try to get up on it because racists will come out. Well, look at what you're doing. And Birdman does an excellent job of breaking this stuff down, man, and putting it in his hard face. Very hilarious video. Very hilarious video. But I'm trying to tell you, I'm rooting for Black Snape. Yep, I'm rooting for Black Snape. Again, did I know that Andre Ware? I'm going to find out. You following Neurotic in all of these? I'm find out. I'm going to tell Blurred. I'm going to have Ernie come get you. But anyway, I don't think the portrayal of Snape, Papa Sidu, just like he said, if the characterization has nothing to do with his ethnicity and it has more to do with the characterization that is portrayed in the book, damn it, go do your job, man. Go do your job. Go have fun, make this character your own, and F all these people who got a problem with it, because I'm riding with Black Snape. But what are y'all doing? Y'all riding with Black Snape? Because I know I am, man. Put it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think, man, because, you know, at the end of the day, man, this ain't real. It's fake. Black Snape.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
I got to get up out of here, man. We got to wrap it up, man. Thank you so very much for tuning in to another episode of The Dre Max Show. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so you can never, ever miss one of my videos again. Until next time, I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace and vibe power, man. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Where's my outro at? Because you already know Black Snape. I gotta go. Wait a minute. You're telling me the video's over? What? Okay, I guess so. If you have came to this portion of the video, thank you so very much for sticking to the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And if you really want to, you don't got to, go ahead and follow the social media links that's down below. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. Peace and vibe higher, y'all. Y'all take care of yourself.